Hello, welcome to eyeforpharma. There's a lot of challenges and a lot of disruption going on right now, and we're glad that you could take the time to spend it with us. We're hoping that with this time, you actually take some time to think and use this to look at the opportunities that are afforded to you by this changing time, and think about how you can make your businesses better and stronger and add more value to your customers, essentially hitting the digital reset button. Now, we know there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen. Most of us feel pretty confident that things are not going to revert back to the way they were just a few weeks ago. We think things are going to be changed for the long term, and really we think it's going to be changed for the good. So the thing that really we're faced with is the opportunity to define the new normal. That new normal is something that you can lead your organization and your teams towards, or you can wait for others to do it and then you'll be stuck playing catch up with them. Playing catch up is always a harder place to be in, so we recommend that you try and take this time to find some ways through this. Now, we've got a great couple of speakers here with me today. We've got Michelle Keefe from Syneos Health, and we've got Des Curry from Microsoft. They're going to tell us about what their organizations are doing and what they see as some of the trends and techniques that you can use to make it through this disruption and come out the other side stronger and better than ever. Take it away, Michelle.
Thanks, Corey. It's great to be here with all of you. Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Keefe, and I am the president of Commercial Solutions for Syneos Health. What we're going through as a society is simply unprecedented. I hope all of you and your families and colleagues are safe and healthy. So I've scrapped the original talk that I was going to give for this time and decided to focus on how we as an industry, we really in this moment, what is the best thing we can do and what is the best thing we can focus on? And that is the patients and our customers who are counting on us. So let's talk about it now, about a new commercial model. A new commercial engagement model for this new unprecedented era that we are living in today. So for years, every life sciences company has explored ways to be more customer-centric, to explore multi-channel or omni-channel solutions, more digital, to be more data-driven, and to really have non-personal promotion complementing personal promotion. And I do think the crisis that we're in right now is accelerating that need for change. We're seeing a dramatic decline in face-to-face detailing and in-person events. All the data supports it. And we know from research that we just conducted at Syneos Health that HCPs in this post-COVID-19 world are expecting in-person rep interactions to decrease in frequency, but they want and they need the most up-to-date product information. So we have to find a way to respond to that situation, and we really have no choice. We have to meet our customers' needs. So the way we think about it, it's not about the omni-channel future, it's about the omni-channel right now. To be clear on our terminology, when we say omni-channel, we mean the HCP or the patient at the absolute center of our thinking. Every channel, personal and non-personal, synchronized. What you see in one channel is reflected in another. Clearly, a big reliance on data. Companies need to put customer experience and analytics front and center in order to be truly game-changing. But to do this right, we need more than technology alone. Beyond technology, we really need a new model for right now. I'm not going to go into huge detail on this slide, but at Syneos Health, we regularly help clients design and execute these kinds of modern commercial programs. Whether it's applying data science to expanding your targeting, or syncing up across contact center, digital, and remote, or tying it all together with integrated analytics, we know the game plan. And we do it with a full inclusion of one of the most powerful resources you have, with your field professionals. They know your product and they know your customers, and they can be incredibly effective in a remote approach. My message to you is that we can all do this together, and we can do it quickly and efficiently. To make it even simpler, here are 4 right now tactics you should be deploying at scale. First, you should be focused on advanced targeting, sophisticated data science for discovery of new high-value audience clusters. Second, remote detailing, new tools and techniques to quickly convert face-to-face teams to effective remote advisors. Third, engagement center. It's a flexible overlay support to fuel video, chat, and voice connection on demand or at invitation. And importantly, one-to-one digital engagement. Person-level relevant content delivered in digital media to maximize brand reach and frequency. As important as it is to get each tactic right, we also need to tie everything together to make sure the customer sees this as one connected experience. We do this in 2 ways. First, clearly the technology is important, but at Syneos, we have a lot of experience with advanced commercial models, and we believe it's all about integration. Getting the structure, people, and processes right can be tricky. We have an entire team called Commercial Integration that solves this precise problem with and for our clients. Again, my message to you is we together and you can do this. We all know that times are crazy. We can all just think about how different life was just 4 weeks ago when we were still planning to travel to Philadelphia for eyeforpharma. To say we're in challenging times is an understatement, but our customers are counting on us and patients are counting on us. And I am truly confident that people will remember what we do right now. If there's anything I can do to personally help you or your teams navigate this time, please do not hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure addressing this audience, and I now would like to turn it over to Des.
Thank you, Michelle. Insightful as always. And hello, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be here with my fellow panelists to talk a bit about how Microsoft has joined the fight against COVID-19 and the global pandemic. And I will start this conversation with a few words from our CEO, Satya Nadella. Now, I won't read this quote, but I'll attempt to give it some context and to paraphrase it a bit. Now, this quote comes long before COVID-19, and Satya is talking about the impact of AI in society. And what Satya is saying is we know that AI has many applications across industries, but perhaps none most important than in healthcare. And those words ring more true now than ever before. And so what I'll do in that spirit is talk to you about 4 ways that Microsoft is empowering its customers who are joining in the fight as well with the healthcare ecosystem against COVID-19. And these 4 areas are patient outreach and triage, tracking resources and supplies, managing discharge and continuous care, sharing accurate data, and reporting. Now, I'll give you a few examples under the 4 of these in the interest in time to make sure that we have a good idea, a good solid idea of some of the things that we're doing with our customers. So let's start with patient outreach and triage. Our patient scheduling and screening solution, delivered through the Health Accelerator, is helping healthcare organizations in their outreach to at-risk populations. And this is extremely important. Now, populations could be at risk due to comorbidities, due to geographies and where they live, are they in or near a hotspot, et cetera. But this is allowing healthcare providers to reach out and determine what next steps might be for these at-risk populations. In addition, we have many customers, including the CDC, who is using the HealthBot to triage data and information and avoiding crucial bottlenecks. Now, as we can all imagine, the CDC has been much busier the last few weeks than it has been in a while. And there's a lot of information and data going in and out. And so the ability to take in information, share it back, answer questions, and provide the right level and amount of data to the people who need it most is paramount. We have large provider groups using the HealthBot to triage patients, determine what their symptoms are, what's their next step in care. Is it telehealth and a virtual consult with a doctor? Is it a live visit? Is it a test, sending them to a treatment location for screening? All of these things are being used and being done by our customers with the use of the healthcare bot. Now let's talk a bit about tracking resources and supplies. And there are two areas I want to touch here. The first is the emergency response solution that is powered by our Power platform. And this solution, for example, for a hospital, gives that hospital the ability to see bed capacity real time, which is extremely important right now, or a healthcare organization to understand its supply chain and get unprecedented visibility into it, to know where the crucial resources are, again, real time when they need it. And next, I'll talk a bit about the crisis communication app, which customers are using to communicate with their employees globally, wherever they may be. Now, this allows people to share what their work status is, to share if they need resources, to share what they're going through back with their employer. Some of these people are on the front lines of care. Some of these people are doing jobs that are very important to this fight against COVID-19. Next, let's talk about managing discharge and continuous care. Essentially, this is virtual visits, this is telehealth, and this is virtual rounding, which I'll spend some time on. Now, if you think about the concept of rounding, this is really about healthcare providers being able to check in on a patient, check the symptoms and progress, be able to answer questions, deliver information to the patient. We also know a few facts to be true. One, we have a critical shortage of PPE. Two, this critical shortage of PPE puts our healthcare providers at greater risk of contracting COVID-19 themselves. And so what we want to do with virtual visits and virtual rounding powered by Microsoft Teams is give the healthcare provider the ability to still have that contact with the patient, to still check on symptoms, to still share and receive the necessary information for patient care, hopefully reducing that risk of infection. Every time a healthcare provider right now goes on to a rounding from room to room, they use a new piece of PPE. So this solution is really aimed at reducing that drain on PPE. Lastly, but sure not least, let's talk about sharing accurate data and reporting. Now, as you might imagine, healthcare regulations, policies, they're changing very rapidly right now because information is circulating and needing to be shared in unprecedented ways and unprecedented speeds. Well, security of data and privacy has been and remains paramount to Microsoft and the core of who we are. And we will continue to work to make sure that privacy and security, even in these times of unprecedented sharing, remains important and that data remains secure. And these are just 4 ways and a few examples in these 4 of how Microsoft has joined the fight against COVID-19. Now what I'd like to do is pass it over to Corey. And Corey is going to take us through some customer experience focused strategies during the times of disruption. Thank you again.
Thank you, Des. That was great. For my part of the presentation, what I'd like to talk about and share with you are some focused strategies that you can use to improve the customer experience that you provide and really make the most of this digital disruption. So what we're seeing is lots of events canceled, delayed. The fortunate ones, we're getting to reschedule them and put them online like we're doing here today with eyeforpharma. We know it's always been hard to get in to see a physician. It's even harder now, and it's really not safe. So it's not something that should be happening. And on top of that, we've got people who are not used to working from home. There's different kinds of stresses and things to get used to, and really lots of concern about what this means to our brands and our customers and how we communicate our values. So we've got to think about all of this stuff. The new normal that I mentioned earlier is really, it's in our grasp, and it's for us to define and decide what that will be. And I encourage you to think about hitting the digital reset button and defining how that's going to play out for you. We've got lots of changes going on in society that lead to pressures and expectations with our customers, the way we interact with our groceries, the way we interact with our cars and our friends. These are all changing, and we've got to keep up with that because people's personal lives and business lives are blending, and there's less lines between them. We've also got the constant regulatory pressures and changes and shifts in the industry that we need to navigate and provide balance for. And so what we try to do with Omnipresence is to unify all of these different things, all of the team members that you have, and put them together onto the same platform with all the digital channels that your customers need and envision, and let you really provide personalized services. And when we say personalized, we're talking about not just addressing someone by their first name instead of their last name, but we're talking about bringing all of that information together so that we can be one step ahead and provide value that goes above and beyond what they expected. Now, with the disruption that we're seeing, the digital continuity is a big piece and strategy. It's something that people can take in baby steps, right? We see people doing online meetings, both for one-on-ones to events like this, to inbound calls. So we support all of this through Omnipresence, and we look at that as a baby step. This is the first step to maturing your platform and your customer experience. When you're doing this, there are a lot of tools out there. We're not the only player with virtual engaging tools, but security is really important. You've got to look at who your provider is and what security protocols and measures are taking into place, because we're seeing things almost daily now about different hacks and problems with different tools. So you want to make sure that you're compliant both from a regulatory point of view, but also compliant with your customer expectations, right? People are looking at how you do business, and the tools you use reflect on that. Now, with Omnipresence, our view is really that the new normal is defined by customer experience. And customer experience is the guiding star that can take you through this disruption and bring you out the other side stronger and better than ever. We know that pharma has not been great with digital experiences. It's a bit of a sore spot. We're in the mushy middle with a lot of other industries. There are leaders that we can look to, and we can borrow some of the techniques and technologies that they have. That's a good thing. We don't have to take on high amounts of risk all the time. We don't have to invent things. We can use things that are out there. If you need more convincing that CX is important, just think about what this means to your ROI or your bottom line. We know there's studies that prove that CX is good for business, and really, really good. If you look at some of these numbers here, 3x, I like that. Now, when we get into the challenges with really improving or starting to deliver customer experiences, the biggest challenge is how to operationalize that. And operationalizing it has two pieces. On the one hand, you've got your technology, and that can be that you've got older platform. It might be platforms where you've got siloed data, siloed people. So communication is hard, and it's not something that's possible to get a full picture of what your customer is doing and what they need and expect from you. On the other side of it, you've got the more human part of things. You need to define a strategy, and you need a champion or champions to push that strategy through and keep encouraging the organization to do it. Now, the other important thing with customer experience, it shouldn't just be, I know good customer experience when I see it. You should have measures there because you get what you measure. So information has to be high quality, and we're pretty good at that. Where we need to improve really is that ease of access. As I mentioned, we've got expectations from our personal lives. There's all kinds of different channels we use now to get information. We want information at different times of day from different people. So you've got to have that flexibility. You've got to have the security, but there's also the trust that goes with it, right? People have to believe in what you're saying and how you're saying it, and that personalization again, staying one step ahead, being a value-added partner, not just someone who's taking orders and doing transactional things. And this is the magic and beauty of omnipresence. Omnipresence has two sides to it. We've got the business cloud, and that's the typical life science to HCP engagements that you know and love. And so what we do with that is all the pieces that you can imagine come together on a single platform: sales and marketing and medical and self-service portals, making it easy to interact with your HCPs, whether it's at their clinics, the hospitals, the pharmacies, but also to build up a better picture, because you're all using the same system, the same data. You can all see what's happening at any point through your customer journey. Now, with the patient cloud, we're supporting the other side of things. When you look at the lifespan of the product, you've got clinical trials at the beginning, which we can help manage that and recruit people, all the way through to mature products where really you're helping customers with financial incentives or discounts and things like that, as well as getting into engagements and education type interactions with them. So it's all there and it's all in one place. The beauty is when you see things that are working with patients, you can take that and reinforce things that are working with the HCPs and vice versa. So it's the more you use the system, the stronger it gets. And the system is powered by AI. So we're augmenting human ability with all the tools in here to help make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. In closing, I hope these techniques and tips and things that are going on that we've talked about today are helpful and valuable to you. We would love to talk about this with you more, so reach out to any of us at Indegene, Microsoft, or Syneos, and just let us know what's on your mind. There are resources out there that you can also get and check out, so please do that. Above all, stay healthy and stay safe, and thank you for your time today.